Good morning or afternoon. Happy Wednesday. My name's Bev and this is Erin. We are going to chat about how to get more personal training clients today and on NFPT Live, which is the National Federation of Professional Trainers. And even if you're not a personal trainer and you're just someone that works with clients, you will probably benefit from what we have to share. And of course, as always, we love our viewers to contribute. So if you have any suggestions on how to get clients, throw them up in the comments and say hello. Tell us what's going on. Tell us how the weather is or something. Tell us something happy. Forget the weather.
Yeah.
So how are you today, Erin?
I'm good. It's starting to warm up. So I'm happy. I'm happier.
Oh, it's a fickle slope, letting your mood be run by the weather.
Oh man, especially if you live where we live. It rains. It's like we can virtually have all seasons in one day.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, good. It's finals week for me for a few of my classes. So that's nice. Winding down.
Yes.
How about you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good today. I had a rough day yesterday, and after a rough day is always a good day, just like with the weather. After a bad weather day, there's usually a good weather day. So
yeah, it's the
trick is to remember when it's bad that it's going to get good again. That's the trick. And so when your business is slow, it's not always going to get busy again unless you do something. So we're going to talk about how to get more clients today. And the first thing that we want to chat about is just basically like improving yourself. So getting more clients kind of starts with you, and you start with yourself and then it branches out. So ways to improve yourself. You can obviously get more education, but there's other ways to, if you already feel like you've had enough education for a little while, you've learned lots of techniques, you have lots of great skills, you can always take a look at your communication skills, improving the way you communicate, or what are some other ways we can improve ourselves, Erin?
I think, it's not just with the education piece or the certification piece, but I think evolving with the times and keeping up on how your audience connects. Are you targeting the right people? If you specialize in an older population and you're marketing in the wrong area, you're fishing in the wrong pond, you're probably not going to get the client that you're seeking. So I think just having that understanding, knowing your clients, knowing what they read and where they are, and do they use social media? I mean, social media is great. It's also a huge pain in a lot of ways, but it's free. So rising costs of advertising, you can kind of augment that if you are marketing in the right way to the right audience using the right avenue. So that's another way to just help improve and get more clients, cast a wider net.
Good one. So yeah, educate yourself on your client. Yeah, really hone in. Who are the people that are choosing to come and see you every week? What is it about them? Why do they come see you? What do they do in their free time? Like, just really analyze those folks, because those are the types of people that are paying you. And so people that are like them are more likely to pay you and to seek out your service. That's a really good point.
Right.
And speaking of social media and people, I feel like networking is huge, especially if you don't like to, I don't know, or if you don't want to do like flyers and stuff, just networking, meeting people. The more people the more people are likely to come and work out with you. And you can network in so many different ways. We have an episode on networking, but when it specifically comes to getting more clients, you can network amongst your clients, and with people that are like them by going places that your clients hang out. Say your client likes to go to a certain grocery store, you could try and do like a free talk at that grocery store and get around more people that are like your client, or maybe like a certain like health food shop in town or restaurant. But you can also network with people just like you, like networking with other personal trainers. It might seem like those other personal trainers are competition, but other personal trainers can become your peers. They can support you. When you're out of town, you can trade clients or sub out your clients with them. And maybe they have a client that would suit you better, or, I really wish that we would be better at sharing, I really wish we would be better at sharing, because sometimes a client is working with us and it's not really resonating. They're not really resonating. And if we have other trainers that we know and we can refer them out, then those trainers are likely to refer back to us. and you may not get more clients, but you may get clients that are more aligned with you. So making friends.
Yep.
Of course, there's like the networking we all think of, which is networking with other professionals like hairdressers and doctors and physical therapists and those folks.
Yeah, exactly. I like the point about, networking with other personal trainers, because whether we like to admit it or not, all fitness professionals have some sort of niche. We have something that like sets our courage on fire and sets our passion on fire. And yeah, we might be skilled in being able to train a wide variety, but there's a certain type of client or a certain demographic that speaks to every fitness professional. And so that's where you can really hone in on that if you're networking with other trainers, because they're going to have a strength that you don't, and vice versa. There's strength and differences. So if you're somebody that really likes to work with people that are high performing and they're training for, the Tough Mudder or some sort of, duathlon or something like that, that's your niche. And maybe the trainer in another studio gets that traffic, but it's not their wheelhouse. It's not their bailiwick, so to speak. It's they can do it. They've got the skill, but it's not where their passion lies. And so networking and just getting to know what other trainers like to do and their method to their madness, I think is important, because I think you can learn a lot from other people in the same profession. It doesn't mean that you have to take business away. That really shouldn't be what it's about. I mean, yes, there's a competition piece to running a business. That's just, you're never going to escape that. But I think you can leverage it in such a way that it's healthy. And that you can create some sort of camaraderie between other people in the same profession. And who knows? I mean, you can create a coalition. You can get together, and maybe in a community, there's some sort of, maybe it's like a national, nutrition month or something like that, and where all the professionals in the community get together and do some sort of event. That's a great way to network, and it's a great way to support each other's business.
Yeah. I love the way you expanded on that. That's perfect. And I feel like it doesn't have to be so scary to like share your clients, and it keeps you competitive when you're hanging around other trainers and you see how good they are at what they do, and you see what they're doing in their free time. It keeps you on your toes a little more when you. It's like that pacer in a race, that one person that sort of drives you nuts, but that you sort of love because they're the one that's just pushing, and you push each other. And so it can help drive you forward. And even just you see their habits, you see what they're doing behind the scenes. Maybe you think you're doing everything you can to get more clients, but they have an idea that you didn't have. So I guess I take back what I said, maybe it's not even an exchange with other trainers. It's just that they motivate you to, maybe they know how to do Facebook ads, which is something someone said this morning when I posted on Facebook this morning. A couple of people said that they use Facebook ads. Maybe another trainer knows how to do that. Maybe they have a lot of success with going to networking events, and you could tag along with them and you could both meet people. So having friends that are like-minded, I think it goes a long way, because if you're friends with people who are not like-minded, that's not going to get you anywhere. But if you're friends with people who have similar, just like you and I, we have a working relationship, and I get ideas from you about how to be organized, and you get ideas from me about maybe, a new avenue to take in the industry. So you can get more clients indirectly that way. And I think it's a great relationship. Yeah. And it's just fun to have friends that are similar to yourself.
I get it. And I think ultimately, I mean, even though we might be independent, or, you might be working on your own, or, trying to drum up business and feed a family, fatten that bottom line a little bit, it doesn't mean that all fitness professionals don't have the same sort of mission in mind. And it's outside of the business. I mean, really what good fitness professionals, ones that are worth their hourly rate, are in it because they care about the outcome. They care about elevating the performance of somebody's health and stamina. It might not be necessarily to get everyone to this top tier of health, but to help them achieve their optimal level. We all have different levels. So ultimately, every one of us has the same mission and would like to see that happen for the greater population. So you might just have a different way of getting there, and you can still support that mission by networking with each other and supporting each other.
Yeah.
It can be that camaraderie and that collegial relationship where, you do have an exchange of ideas, or you do help, this new trainer get into this piece of the industry, or introduce them to somebody influential. Doesn't have to be this, like, there's only one bone and both of us are starving, so let's fight for it. It doesn't have to be that way. And I think there's a little too much of that goes on in some respects, because I think when that happens, I think it's when somebody loses focus of what that overall goal and mission actually is. It's not to strip someone of business. It's to really promote optimal lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can promote each other. Like you said, yeah. If I have a niche, I like to work with postnatal clients, and you have a niche that you like to work with athletes, then we can work together to both market and then send each other those clients. And if you're not sure how to make friends that are, and I just want to say too, that I think it's important to make friends with trainers who are going whatever direction you want to go. Because just like in any industry, there are people who are not as motivated, maybe not as driven. And if you're trying to get more clients and build your business, you're going to need that motivation and that drive. And so maybe you already have trainer friends, but maybe they're also, I don't know, bartending on the side or doing something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. But to really put your heart into training, you kind of need to be almost full-time with it, or at least be totally in the industry. Like maybe you're training part-time, writing part-time, teaching part-time, or doing something on the side that's active. But certainly hanging around the bar, you might be able to get clients, but a lot of times people make promises when they're drinking and don't follow through. And I've known a lot of trainers that bartended and trained, and sometimes it works out for them really well and sometimes it didn't. But anyway, just saying, hang around people that you want to be like. And if you might get a lot of business from that setting. I don't want to like knock it, but
right.
Just
but
find people that are going where you want to go, whatever that is. And
wherever it is, I think that's definitely important. And just, I think there are other ways to improve yourself beyond just, when we talk about education, it's not just limited to education within your industry, knowing how standards have changed, or knowing how there's this new approach, or there's this new theory on nutrition, or the physical activity guidelines for Americans have changed. It's not just about knowing that, but looking at other ways that kind of help augment or support your skill set in a different way. So there's a lot of great leadership books out there. There's a lot of great leadership conferences. If you don't necessarily have the budget to be hiring, a PR person, maybe you need to learn a little bit more about public relations if that's not something that comes naturally to you. Mm-hmm. If you're not that necessarily social butterfly and you do better in a one-on-one situation, maybe you do need to learn a little bit more about how networking in public relations can improve. Mm-hmm. So it's outside of that box of science that we put ourselves into. And we think about education as, oh, well, obviously, like, I need to learn more about HIIT training, or I need to learn more about Zumba, or whatever the case is. You have to, I think, invest in your learning beyond just what you're trained to know. It has to be something that's outside. So maybe you want to learn how to do your own business cards, or versus hiring somebody to do them, maybe you need to understand a little bit more about those principles. So things like that, thinking outside of that box of sets, reps, weights, and programming.
Yeah, we could go way outside the box. You could just fuel your creativity by maybe taking a photography class, learning more about pictures. And then maybe you could be really well known for taking photos of your clients either before and after, or just taking photos of them while they're active. I even like what you do sometimes on the side now, Erin, with like some makeup education. Like, I feel like it may not seem like a direct correlation to like do makeup or be an esthetician or like a hairdresser or something, but having those side jobs that kind of fuel in, because in fitness, there's a lot of body image and the way we look and everything. So you could find a talent or something on the side and really get outside that box with that. And like last year, I was studying astrology quite a bit, and that's a pseudoscience. It's a, non-fitness, but studying astrology kind of really helped me understand how different we all are, and it gave me an appreciation for like everything that's happening out, with the moon and the planets, and it just kind of broadened my knowledge of the astroscience that's out there. So
right. I think that's really important. And even though with personal training, you tend to come at it from a more directive approach, telling clients this is what you need to do. But we're starting to see that trend soften a little bit to moving more towards a coaching perspective. And so learning about coaching, not athletic coaching, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about coaching an individual. Mm-hmm. So those skills like motivational interviewing. Mm-hmm. That is so important for clients that are in like that kind of ambivalence stage. Mm-hmm. Like, well, I think I need to make a change, but I don't really know how I feel about it because I don't really want to give up X, Y, and Z because then I think it will suck. And, yeah. So grabbing on to some of those skill sets, I think is important. Emotional intelligence is another one. Learning emotional intelligence, because when you go through a personal trainer curriculum or you prep for an exam on your own, where is that in the curriculum? So it's a lot about science. It's a lot about programming. It's a lot about, scope of practice, nutritional guidelines, and aerobic versus not anaerobic versus all this other stuff, flexibility. So there are pieces that you can bring in that only serve to make your skill set more sophisticated, to sharpen that edge.
Yeah, sharpen the edge. And this is a perfect time to turn into our final kind of point today, is that you can improve yourself all day long and your current clients might love you more because you're improving yourself, but you have to tell people that you want more clients. You have to tell people, like when I broke into becoming a freelance writer, I had to tell people that I wanted, and I didn't even tell people that I wanted to. I would just say, I am a freelance writer and I'm looking for gigs right now. You have to say, I'm looking for clients, because your client isn't in there wondering like, hey, do you need more clients or not? Let me see if I can help you out. That's not what's on their minds. They're coming in to do their workout. So start with your current clients. Just let them know. Say, I have a few openings in my schedule. Do you have any friends that are looking to train? You could have your client invite a friend to come train, just like, hey, you want to bring a friend with you one day? You don't even have to tell them you're looking for more. You can just say, hey, if you ever want to bring a friend to a session, like I'm always open to like partner training and you can do stuff like that. But then you need to tell your clients, you need to tell your trainer friends, you need to tell your family, and tell social media. I mean, within reason. You don't want to be that person that's like, hey, I'm going to ask you again. Do you have anyone that can come see me?
Yeah, don't beat a dead horse. Nobody likes that.
I feel like we tend to either promote ourselves too much or not enough. We need to find that balance of like, it's like when you're giving positive reinforcement. What is it? 5 positive comments for one on social media, 5 educational posts, and then 1 promotional. And we tend to get into these modes as humans where we're like, doing one thing and we're doing a ton of it, and then we shift gears and we're doing a ton of another thing. We need that balance. You need to have that balance and find it however you want. Like put it in your calendar, like or just Thursdays are promotional days, that you're promoting yourself to anyone and everyone that you come across, and then the rest of the week you're just helping and educating if you need that kind of practical guidance.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, because like we know, humans are creatures of habit. And so once we get on a road, we don't want to veer off. We don't want to go down that kind of unworn path. And so finding that balance, I think, is key. And part of that is organization and, partitioning out your week in such a way that it allows you to do those things. So it's not so fractured and, kind of fragmented here and there. There's a method. There's an approach, a process, and maybe improvement for you as a professional is maybe you just don't have a process. Maybe that's where you need to start. You could know your stuff inside and out. You could have a proven track record of being a great professional, but if your process has got holes in it, or it's fractured, or it's that kind of frazzled feeling, that might be an area to improve that will then help you just increase that client load. But yeah, I think communicating that I've got an opening in my schedule, or I'm looking to take on 5 more clients throughout the week. I've added these hours, part of that's in marketing, part of that's in advertising, and then part of that's just word of mouth too.
Totally. Yeah. And I think even if you're just getting educated on how to be organized more or to like manage your finances better, I read something this week that said, if your garage is cluttered, then your mind is cluttered, so basically if your finances are out of Well, because every time you walk through it, it's like on your mind, like, I want to clean this up. I want to clean this up. Even our garage actually is still undone. Like, it's never been painted. It's got like all the, and I've wondered sometimes, like, if we were to paint the inside of our garage and finish it, like what that might do for our psyche. And that's a little more out there woo woo, but just saying, you got to take care of the basics first. So finances, organization, all that. Make sure you tell people that you're trying to get more clients, and just keep it simple. Just build relationships.
Yeah, I think your comment about the garage is so funny because it's true. I've read a similar quote about what's the inside of your purse say about you. Mine says I have a 3-year-old. That's what mine says. But same thing with, like, sometimes it's not just about needing to organize. Sometimes it's about needing less stuff to organize, to kind of paring that down and knowing what you can reasonably handle and take on and do so effectively versus just like, look at how many balls I can juggle.
Yeah, definitely. Sweet. Well, that's what we wanted to cover today. I see some support in the comments for networking and for continuing ed, which is what we chatted about, and smiling when you help, make sure you're smiling. Yes, absolutely. The simple things. And yes, hi to everybody. Irene, Mandy, Billy, April. We're glad that you could join us today. Next week, we are going to talk about how to know if you would make a great personal trainer. So this is a perfect time, if you know someone that would make a great personal trainer, to forward that link to them and get them on the show. So we're going to chat all about what makes a great personal trainer next week.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today. If you liked this episode, please share it and come and see us again next week.
Yes. Thank you for being with us today.
We'll see you later.